All right, we are live. All right, we're gonna start in a few minutes as people come in. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hey, Dr. Santo, how are you?
Hello, everybody.
Good seeing you. Some good content coming your way, and all these pressing questions that we've been getting every single day. We will try to answer them, answer as many as we can on this call.
Hey, for now, as people are jumping in, if you could just in the chat box to your right, you should see where you can post a message and questions and whatnot. Let us know where you're from.
And that you can hear us. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Sunny San Diego right here.
And we're in
Weekend.
All right. We see more and more people joining in. Please let us know if you can hear us. We want to make sure everything is working as it should be.
Yeah, just let us know. There should be a little chat box. Let us know where you're from and that you can hear us.
All right, 26, 27.
And we're going to start in a couple of minutes here. I'm going to wait for people to join. Hope you all are having a lovely day.
Just trying to questions.
All right, I see Joanna. She's from Santa Rosa. Welcome, Joanna. Debbie from New Jersey.
I can hear you loud and clear.
My old stomping grounds, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie from California, welcome.
Hi, Debbie.
Just give us maybe another 30 seconds so we can have more people join in, and we're going to start this thing very soon.
Gotta love technology where we could all gather and discuss important topics like this. Ron from California, Marla from Knoxville. Ron, Marla, welcome.
Hello.
All right. Maybe 10 more seconds and we're ready to go.
That's at the top of the hour. Let's give people a couple more minutes and we'll get rolling. If you guys have questions, you could throw them in. We're going to cover a few things first, and then we'll dive into your most pressing questions with Dr. Santo. We have some housekeeping stuff to cover with you guys as well. So if you have any, you could feel free to throw them in.
Throw them in the chat. That way we can read them to Dr. Santo.
Yes.
All right. We got UK here.
Nice.
Welcome, Daria.
Good.
All right. Okay. A few more minutes. Shall we get going?
Let's give people another 15 seconds. Let me see how many people, if people are still jumping in.
Yep. Welcome, Barbara. Welcome, Ron.
From Lynn, California.
All right. And Marcus and Luis from Las Vegas. That's our other stomping grounds as well.
That's right.
All right. Steven from California, welcome. Joanna.
Okay.
All right. Joanna, we're going to add your question to a list of our questions that we're going to ask Dr. Santo just in a little bit. But everyone, feel free to write them in a chat box so we have access to them whenever we need them. Okay, we see a few more questions coming in.
Zelda listed.
Zelda.
Velda. Would that be me, Velda? Well, that's a tough question. I don't know if it's Zelda or Velda, but
maybe both.
Yeah, but you're here and we see you, so welcome. So I think we could start.
Yep.
All right.
102. All right.
So first of all, big thank you all for joining us. We're excited to share this information with you, and the product that we're talking about is an important one, and there's a lot of I don't want to say controversy, but there's a little bit of gray area around it because of what it is, and we're starting to understand the validity and power of it. I just want you all to understand that we can't make any claims here. So what we're going to be talking about should not be construed as medical advice. Right, Dr. Sento?
That's correct.
Even we have a doctor and we know a thing or two. This is your own responsibility. You know, what are you doing? What are you putting in your body? So do make wise choices. We're just here to guide, suggest, but do your own research. Make sure what you're doing is the right thing for you.
Exactly. So we're here for you. So any questions that come into mind, please ask them. For now, let's cover some of the stuff that we want to talk about, so you're fully informed about what CBD is, how it can work, in case you missed some of our emails or some of the information that you saw. If you are ready to go ahead and order, it's soulcbd.com/LP. I'll put it in the chat box. cbd.com/LP. But for now, let's talk about how CBD works in our body. And I'll let Dr. Santo answer that question.
Sorry, guys, let me just get you back on the screen here. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it all starts with the endocannabinoid system, which we all possess, and that was, in fact, what makes us not unique in the animal kingdom. In fact, that's what we share with all animals, vertebrates and invertebrates. We have this very ancient, primitive system of receptors in the body. They are endocannabinoid receptors. That means our body makes cannabinoids to fit in these receptor sites for a variety of reasons. And one of the beautiful things is cannabis itself, cannabis plant, as well as the hemp plant, have components called cannabinoids, which actually have been seen and understood and studied to fit into these receptor sites. That's the whole idea. And so we're just at the precipice of understanding the magical benefits of this system and how we can access it better. That's the general question, the generality, if you will. And then, of course, we can discuss disease specifics in the context of giving general advice, of course.
Yeah, thank you. So as far as some of the stuff that you've seen, because you've been doing clinical work with CBD for quite some time.
Can I suggest, I'm seeing some notes that people are not able to hear. Maybe we want to do a little shopkeeping before we...
Okay.
Maybe let people know if they're having trouble seeing, or maybe how they can, what they can do on...
How's everyone else doing? Can anyone else not hear us? Are we coming through okay? If we get a few people just in the chat box, let us know if you can hear us.
Because Bridget, maybe you have your sound muted or anything turned off.
Double check that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If those of you that can hear us, if you could, in the chat box to your right, if you could put in that you can hear us loud and clear, or if you can't, let us know as well.
Just want to make sure everyone can hear it. Okay, thank you, Carol.
Okay. So anyone else having issues not hearing us? Would have really appreciated if you just throw that message in on the right-hand side there. I can hear Bridget still having issues.
On and off, a bit of breaking up. A lot also depends on your internet connection. So sometimes it can be coming off a little bit distorted. But
so
most people can hear us.
We are recording this, and we'll have a replay. So if you can't hear us for some reason, there will be a replay where you'll be able to hear us there. So I'll put that into the chat box for those of you that can't hear us.
Okay, just give us.
All right.
I wonder if we should address this question as Dr. Santa was just covering how CBD works in the body. Carol asked about CB2 receptors. She's asking if we could talk about CB1 and CB2 receptor sites. Dr. Santa, could you address this one for?
Yes, Carol. Yeah, it's a very good question. Very important that we understand this. The CB1 receptors are primarily in the central nervous system. That's the brain and the spinal cord. And so essentially that's the higher executive brain function that's going to be affected. And that's primarily where THC works. Not exclusively, but primarily the target effect. This is why THC users experience the euphoric effect, the high, as you will. The CB2 receptors exist elsewhere. You can think of the CB2 receptors as sort of synonymous with the peripheral nervous system. Anywhere that's not centrally located, that would mean in the periphery, in the organs, the muscles, the bones, glands, the skin. We're discovering more and more locations for these receptors, but that's the CB2 receptors are where the CBD works. And that's what we're excited about, because we're not getting, just generally here, we're not getting the psychoactive effect, which is desirable for many conditions. Little children, the elderly, for instance, neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, the high would be contraindicated. We don't want that. That's why we're looking at CBD, the CB2 receptor activation. Hope that helps.
Yep. So we were just touching a little bit on your personal experience with cannabis and with CBD, addressing different issues. Again, we're not making any claims here, but we wanted just to see what you've seen in your practice.
Sure. Well, I certainly, without giving medical advice, can certainly give my clinical experience. Now, I'm a physician in the state of Arizona. We're able to use marijuana medicinally here in all forms. So what we're seeing with specifically the CBD extract is exactly that. We're seeing the neurological, immunological, musculoskeletal, cardiovascular benefits without the high, without the euphoric effect, without the mental effect. For instance, in cases of Alzheimer's, we cannot risk affecting someone's short-term memory any more than it already is because of the disease process. Therefore, CBD is a much better candidate for you to use in these patients. That's why we're doing it. Same thing in children. Same thing in employees who are drug tested on a routine basis.
Yes, because CBD does not show up on a drug test, correctly?
That's correct. They're only measuring THC. So it's a much safer approach for a lot of people who are needing to function on a day-to-day basis and not get caught using it.
All right. What about children? Have you worked with children specifically?
Yeah, the data on children is very good. I've seen. I'm not a pediatrician, but parents have asked me to advise, and it's very difficult. The laws in Arizona are still restrictive, so I have to be very careful what I can say, and I can only speak in generalities and present data to people. What they're telling me, and what the dispensary clientele are telling me, is that their children cannot function without it. These are children with seizures, ADHD, severe hyperactive and obsessive defiance disorder, ODD. These children are becoming a lot more functional, and we're even seeing some headway being made with some certain cases of autism and the autistic spectrum. And again, all I can speak of here are personal firsthand accounts from parents, from clientele of both my practice and in the dispensaries, for which, by the way, I direct 4 medical dispensaries in this state.
Okay.
So would you say there are any dangers for children to take this, or would it be just like any other plant nutrient? Is it relatively safe for
relatively safe? Relative safety is absolute, and we can discuss purity, etc., which we it's very important. And listen, we take a risk at any time we buy a supplement over the counter anyway. So yes, anything can be abused and taken out of context. Remember, if a little is good, more is not always better. In fact, more can be worse. So we have to always approach everything that we ever do with caution. Consider CBD like extremely potent antioxidant. It's one of those things where you don't even need to have something wrong with you. You can take it because we know it's good for you. It's good measure. And frankly, it's not going to interact with any medication because it's not going to be a blood thinner. It's not a sedative. It's not a stimulant. So therefore, it really is compatible with a lot of nutritional as well as medical protocols. Now, the thing is, it is still a Schedule I drug. I'm talking about cannabis now, not nutritional CBD. But because cannabis is a Schedule I drug, we are precluded from being able to study it to the degree that we need to. So most of the data is coming in from Europe, from Asia, from South America. Unfortunately, we need to be doing the studies here. And when we're able to, then we can look at drug-to-drug interactions. Then we can look at more specific, fixed dosing. There is one drug that's currently available called Marinol, dronabinol is the generic. That somehow got around the laws. It just goes to show you, when you have enough money, you can get around the laws. And that's a prescription item, THC, but it's synthetic, and it's not showing nearly the degree of benefit that what we're looking at. Plant extract meant in the context of nature, very, very important.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Right? You have this synthetic thing made up in a lab from cannabis that many people are sitting in jail for, but it's legal to prescribe it.
Well,
it's insane.
I think it's important to understand too, this isn't about right or wrong. It's about, the reason it's illegal is monetary. There are a lot of forces that sit on top of this substance being illegal. And one of the questions that comes in is whether or not, we could get this cheap. And we want to bring it to people, very cheaply, because it's a beautiful natural plant and it has all these medicinal qualities to it. But the fact of the matter is, any hemp product is illegal to be grown in the United States right now. The laws are quickly changing and people are becoming a lot more rational about, the efficacy of this plant and the benefits, that are substantial around it. But as of right now, you have to actually bring it from outside of the country. And if you grow it here and sell it here, it is illegal. So it has to be grown outside of the country. There are laws that allow it to be imported, and that's what makes it legal. And to do that, obviously, there's a lot of costs that surround it, which makes it illegal. In the near future, I expect the prices to go down because the laws are starting to loosen up and there's a lot more rationality in play. So, yeah. If
I could interject and let you know, the good news is there is change on the horizon. You should know that the American Academy of Pediatrics, as well as the Neurology Association, have both made stated publicly that they are pushing and lobbying to have cannabis descheduled from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2, which would put it in the class of prescribable medications for the purpose of, medicinal purposes, but it's also going to be listed amongst the most highly addictive and abuse potential drugs, such as OxyContin, oxycodone, and morphine. But at least it would be descheduled from federally illegal to federally legal, so that we can start looking at it. And those are from two, obviously, AMA-derived Board of Medical Examiners who are looking at this very seriously because they see the benefits neurologically and pediatrically.
Yeah, because we do get a lot of questions this last few days about specific studies related to certain conditions. As Dr. Santa mentioned, it is illegal still considered here if it's grown here. So there's really not that much research is happening in US. All the research is done in Europe. And I'm sure we're probably going to address a few more of these issues maybe in about 10-15 minutes. We just want to make sure we do cover some of the most important issues that we've been getting, important questions, and also address some of the questions that I see being posted in a chat box. Should we move on to the few questions from
so we had people submit a lot of questions, and I think we should go through those, and then we'll take, if we didn't cover some questions, please, we'll go through all the questions that have been submitted into the chat. But let's go down the line. So one of the questions that we got was around the product, and the question becomes, if you subscribe, if you get a subscription, can you cancel it? And the answer is 100% you can. We made it very, very simple for you to cancel. You just log in. You get a login as soon as you order. And once you get that, you could log in. You go to your account, and there's a little button that says cancel.
Yeah, you can update your credit card. You can update shipping address there. This is just some few housekeeping things that we wanted to mention. Also, people were wondering if they can order a few bottles on auto ship. That is also available. Whatever is working for you, because we had a few emails with questions that people wanted to take, buy a bottle for themselves and then husband or wife or whatever significant other for the family. Yes, feel free. You can order as many as you need. You still paying $8 shipping cost. So as far as international shipping, I kind of feel like I need to address it, as we have almost 60 people on a waiting list inquiring about CBD being shipped internationally. Unfortunately, there's very few fulfillment centers that are even willing to work with any kind of products that in a hemp sphere. There's been a lot of commotion happening, and a lot of companies are changing their rules. So it's been quite challenging finding someone that can work with us on this issue and not charging skyrocketing fees, as some of the companies were charging about $45 for one bottle to ship even to Canada. So we are currently actively working on this, trying to find a solution for the international folks, and hopefully we will have one soon. So if you are inquiring about the international shipping, please just send us an email and we will add you to that list, and you will be notified as soon as we find that solution.
Yeah, we are working hard. First, we're going to launch in the United States, and then we're going to, we're working to get it in other parts of the world as well, because we understand that it's needed everywhere. So, yeah, let's move on to some of the other questions we have here. One question that came in, so it says, do you have any experience with treating patients who have central nervous system lupus with polyarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, myopathy, migraines, pleurisy, neuropathy? My daughter also has sleep problems and must take heavy doses of scripts to get out of bed. She also has chemo 2 times a month. She's not getting better, but worse. So I know we can't make any claims, but what can you say to that, Dr. Santo?
That's a very. Where do they live? Where do you live?
Okay. There's.
Yeah, I can't tell you where they live.
We don't see a name or.
A very complex situation, and the fact that she's receiving chemotherapy for an autoimmune condition is because that's the last ditch effort that they are able to do, because they've done all the other immunosuppressive measures that they can. It's very sad. Unfortunately, the medical establishment doesn't really understand immune support. They do actual immune suppression whenever there are immunological disorders going on. There are too many listed there to really comment. It's very difficult without, of course, knowing the case better. But I just will say this. Any measure possible to support the immune system, which is what CBD can do, other powerful antioxidants like turmeric can do, but really under the guidance of a physician would be something like that this person can benefit from. Concentrated CBD, though, in the presence of all the other things that she's doing, will in very many cases benefit her. It's worth a try, but I can never say for sure, yes, do it. But remember, this is not a drug. You're not adding a drug into the mix. You're adding a nutritional supplement, a very concentrated, powerful nutritional supplement. That, I can just tell you, I have seen benefit people with end-stage cancers of many types who, going and during the course of chemotherapy have been able to turn around and have their nausea resolve, have their night terrors resolve, taking them off the medications for those conditions, and the weight loss, the anorexia, all the above, the pain, seeing that all turn around during even later stages of cancer, if nothing else, making people more comfortable, I think it's a win-win situation. It's certainly worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, it comes back to putting your body back in balance, whether it's taking powerful nutrients like CBD or changing your diet so you remove things like, the fast foods and the other toxins in your environment. Doing these simple things, getting more sleep, will also elevate your immune system. So when we bring our body back to balance, it does what it's built to do, and that's to heal.
Yeah, and regenerate itself. It does it really well if we don't mess it up ourselves with our poor choices.
I would encourage everyone who is on here with us to continue to read, Be Well Buzz, be informed, read all of the submissions that we deliver to you, because out of context of a healthy lifestyle, even the most potent, powerful nutraceutical by itself is not going to be a miracle for you. You've got to take care of your body. Find out what food allergies you have. Rotate foods in and out, see how they make you feel. Write down, take a diary, increase your water intake, cut out the bad stuff. I can give more information, look out for more blogs with all that, but there's such a richness of information on Be Well Buzz. You pretty much can find, everything that you might need to be healthy right there. And so I encourage you to avail yourselves in the full context of a healthy lifestyle of all that we have to offer you, not just the CBD, which is of course our pride and joy.
Exactly. So another question that we got was someone from Utah asking so they have severe chronic pain for many years and where they can get an excellent grade of CBD. Well, that's what we're talking about.
Right here.
Yeah, right here. So if you go to solcbd.com/LP, you will find it at an incredible discount. So we have a very high quality one. The technology has made it water soluble, and the nanotechnology has made the particulate size smaller, so it's more bioavailable. So we need less to give you a better, more powerful dose and effectiveness.
The initial testing so far already proves that it's at least around 5 times more bioavailable than any oil-based CBD. And also on that note, I know we've got a few emails, people asking how can I get the oil. To be clear, this is not the oil. This is a powdered formula in the capsule form. It also has turmeric. So, and you do not need, a lot of people were asking about, I have chronic pain, so I need higher dose. No, not necessarily, just because this form is more bioavailable. Mm-hmm. As you said before, Dr. Santa, more is not always better.
Yeah, you gotta
start with one capsule, maybe 2, moderate.
We live in a society where it's automatically more better. But if you look at the testing, you could see that too little isn't good and too much isn't good either. You want to find that sweet spot that's in the middle
and also that works for you. Yes. Right? Sometimes you might need 2 capsules a day. It's all kind of testing and trial and see where your sweet spot and the relief zone lies.
Exactly. In case this comes up with any other people, maybe we should just mention that right now, including Washington, D.C., there are a total of 24 states where there is a law for medical marijuana. Mm-hmm. So in a case like Utah, or a state where there's not a law, your pretty much sole legal source would be hemp-derived CBD, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe just let people know that any state outside of the Medical Marijuana Act is pretty much limited to the nutritional use of CBD alone.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's important for people to understand that ours is 100% legal. The way we import it, process it, and deliver it is just like any kind of hemp product. It is 100% legal in all states.
That's how you would buy hemp seeds in the Whole Foods store, that they have to go through the same rules and regulations as we do. So their legality is not an issue here. Should we move on to next question?
Yeah. So the next one, I have always been sensitive to medications, but would really like to try this. I have more than one condition: asthma, heart stent, severe anxiety, and inflammation in my shoulders. Has this been known to work for any of these conditions? I've not been able to get anything that actually works. And again, it goes back to bringing our body back into balance and giving it what it needs to work more efficiently. This does not cure anything. This helps your body. It's a nutrient. It's an important nutrient that helps your body elevate its immune system, that allows it to do what it does best, and that is to take care of the pain and the inflammation and other things.
Dr. Carlos, did you want to add?
That's just exactly it. And CBD is a very powerful anti-inflammatory. So by reducing inflammation, it's going to affect beneficially a number of conditions, that especially where the CB2 receptors abound, like in the heart and the lungs and the muscles. So it's definitely worth a try to see if this is in fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Nice.
And be patient, because it doesn't always necessarily work overnight.
Exactly. So let's keep going. Will it help Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, epilepsy, stress, depression? I think we could. Talking about the effects on the brain is an interesting topic. So
as a neuroprotective, which CBD is, that's where the benefits come. So although its target is the CB2 receptors away from the brain, as a neuroprotective, the brain itself, containing trillions of neurons, is going to benefit that way. And again, by reducing inflammation, reducing general spasm of the body, spasticity of the body. That means improved blood flow conditions get better.
And then, so as far as
data supports it.
So would that affect conditions like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's?
Yes.
It would.
Again, in the context of a holistic approach, absolutely, I'm seeing remarkable changes happening in patients.
And as far as as far as epilepsy goes, I invite you all to just Google CBD and epilepsy and see some of the stories that are all over. Just go to YouTube and type that. You'll be astonished. It really opens the heart to see some of this happen. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, we just had a friend of ours as well that she was getting 2 or 3 seizures a day. It wasn't as severe, but then 2 weeks, nothing. Again, I'm not saying it cured or stopped it, but that was her experience. So I wanted to share that.
Does the drug help reverse macular degeneration? And does it come in capsules? Yes, it does come in capsules. Is there anything that you could say, Dr. Santo, around the macular degeneration?
Well, also in glaucoma, there is a lot of similar issues that people are mentioning.
Yeah, macular degeneration we don't have much data on for specifically CBD. Remember, you mentioned the question was worded as, does this drug? Remember, it's not a drug, so it's not something that's prescribed. And remember, it's still Schedule 1 as the whole plant, but we're talking about just the CBD from hemp. And so we don't have the data on for macular degeneration. I do have some experience with glaucoma, though, to see that it is improving significantly. And in fact, as long as the patient stays on, the supplement, their glaucoma, their ocular pressure actually remains in the normal range, and they still have 20/20 vision.
That's great news. When you mentioned, so for glaucoma specifically, the patient has to stay on the supplement in order to, be not affected by the condition itself, right? Is that kind of goes across the board, or can someone take it, let's say, for a few months, let's say 3-4 months, and then stop it for a month or two? And what have you seen so far? Because we've got some of those questions as well.
Case by case is difficult because they don't really know the cause of this. That's a problem. There is a familial component. It's hereditary. So in those really strong, genetic cases, it's very difficult to suggest coming off when someone's having benefit. But when they do, they notice they come off and they'll see the intraocular pressure goes up. They get through blurred vision, but they'll notice that in a fair amount of time, quickly they can get that pressure down again with cannabis.
What about other conditions, like let's say even Alzheimer's and
again? Well, there's a cumulative effect. So in other words, the overall effect with long-term use is beneficial. But here's where the research is going to come in. We only have this law now for 2.5 years in Arizona, so we really haven't had a chance to fully accumulate enough data yet. But what I can tell you with just personal experience and with case studies that are coming through is that when the consistency of use is where the benefits come in. It's the best thing I can say. Case by case, I don't know. I don't have enough data yet.
I mean, when you think about it, right, you're either on some sort of prescription medication for the rest of your life, or you can take something natural that will support not only that specific condition, but also boost overall state of your health and well-being. I don't see why not take it all for the rest of your life. If that makes you feel better, gives you more energy, right? Why not?
Absolutely. Certainly, since given the fact that doctors don't even give an exit strategy when it comes to the medications that they prescribe. I mean, gosh, here we are just saying, hey, stay on something that's actually good for you, rather than take this with no exit strategy. How long do I stay on this, doctor? You just stay on it. That's not the answer.
Right.
And there's no side effects. That's another amazing benefit.
That's right.
Not only there is an exit strategy, there is bonuses of additional other prescription stuff that can cause another array of issues.
And speaking of prescriptions, there's some questions that come in about contraindications and combining CBD with someone's current regimen if they're on different types of prescriptions. Should they be careful?
we don't have the drug-to-drug interaction data because, again, we're not studying this yet as a scheduled drug. So therefore, I can't answer that. However, I did mention earlier in our talk here that given the fact that it's not a blood thinner, given the fact that it's not a stimulant nor a sedative, we can extrapolate that information outward and treat it as if it's just another very extremely potent antioxidant with specific affinity for the endocannabinoid system. So in that regard, I would say always use with a cautious eye, especially if you're on multiple medications, but chances are it's not going to have a problematic effect. If you're concerned and you're not sure, always take several hours away from your medications, preferably on an empty stomach.
Yes.
Okay.
Another question is around appetite, because if you ingest cannabis, it does activate your desire to eat everything.
Right. That's pretty much expressly for THC. That's THC's properties, and this product has been assayed to show only a 0.001% content of THC. It's a negligible effect or content. You would never experience any, extreme appetite, increase. However, that being said, because we do have CB2 receptors on the stomach and on the digestive organs, it's going to improve digestive motility. So by definition, as an anti-inflammatory, it's going to actually improve digestive function. Therefore, should increase healthy appetite, not a craving for potato chips and Snickers bars and Twix, but to actually help you desire good food again, wholesome food.
Yeah. Any indications to like blood sugar levels? Like if someone has diabetes, would that help?
I haven't seen enough data come in, but we're liking what we're seeing. It's all I can say.
Yeah.
It's really good because it does benefit the pancreas, and we're liking what we're seeing.
Okay.
I mean, I can go on and on about it because it's a complex disorder, but
we have some questions about topicals and whether CBD can be used for skin ailments. Is this available yet? We are working on a topical, and there's a lot of benefit. Dr. Santo, can you speak to any of your experience with topicals?
The CBD oil is shown to be very anti-inflammatory, so it's reducing pain, even topically. It's going to absorb because as an oil, it's going to get into the body. The body takes up oil. You're just going to do the same thing with coconut oil, for instance, or hemp oil, flax oil. But the concentrated CBD, I mean, if somebody really wanted to, I suppose we could tell somebody they can break a capsule open and make an oil out of it or a paste, put it on the skin. I mean, what's wrong with trying that?
Yeah.
Well, especially when it's turmeric is also part of it, and which is a powerful anti-inflammatory.
That's right. I can tell you my experience with topicals has been pretty impressive. I woke up with a stiff neck one day, and I put it all over my neck, and it did help. So the topical is on its way, and we'll let you know as soon as it comes out. Anything with CBD and candida?
That's a tough one. I saw that question. I couldn't draw a conclusion there, except the fact that candida shouldn't overgrow in a balanced system. So, for instance, if your immune system is strong, candida should not overcome the system. Therefore, if we're giving something that is a pretty promising immunomodulatory modulator, then perhaps we could see some improvement there. It wouldn't hurt to try, and it's certainly not going to feed the yeast. There's nothing in the product that's going to be feeding the yeast, which is very important to know. So can't say directly affect. However, indirectly, I could conclude that induce the fact that it very likely might. It's worth a try.
It seems like all the questions that we are getting around a certain condition, and I totally understand, as people want to know exactly how it works. I wanted to mention, it kind of feels like from all the research that we've done, from all the companies that we were, trying to source and get the knowledge, who's got what and why they have that specific CBD and the specific company that they are working with, it just seems like this is more kind of adaptogen effect to it. As sometimes I'll take CBD and I'm extremely tired and I will go to sleep. It literally kind of gives your body what it needs. And sometimes when I need energy, I'll take CBD just to, just kind of was testing what's going to happen. I'm healthy in general. So I wanted to see what would be the effect, and I'll get a ton more energy. So it's a very, very interesting compound. It literally kind of goes, what's the one thing that your body needs right now that it can use it, and just puts you in that state or puts it where your body can utilize it the most.
And there are a lot of studies out there. So like those of you that are wondering, will it work with this? Will it work, for my condition? I would suggest go to the Google machine and type in your ailment with CBD and study and and see what happens. And you're likely going to see something come up. And it's awesome to see that that science is starting to get into this and starting to test it in certain conditions, and there's some results there. One of the questions, and I think this is an important one, if all the THC is taken out, because obviously, we want to, the whole plant has, certain intelligence built in, and there's something about taking the whole thing. But if we take out THC and we're just using CBD with some of the other terpenes, are we still going to get some of that benefit that you wouldn't get with the THC in there?
Well, that's just it. Hemp itself is essentially devoid of THC. And so what we're able to do is get out the CBD that we need. Using a highly bioavailable technique that we have, using nanoparticulate size, we're able to then take this minimal necessary concentration and maximize its effect at the target sites. That's the nice thing. Minimal dose for maximum effect. That's how it's able to work. Without the THC.
Would we want to put THC in there? Do you see a benefit of having the whole plant?
For certain conditions, maybe?
Well, you're opening up a whole other conversation. Does the whole plant work better than its components? And the reality is, yes. My opinion, and it's the opinion of many of us in the holistic world who understand botanicals, is that anytime you can get the whole plant, generally it's going to be better. However, you're going to test positive for THC. You can't get around that. You're going to get the heady effect unless you find that very one perfect strain that happens to be extremely high in CBD, extremely low in THC, and they just don't really make it. I mean, Charlotte's Web is probably the closest strain that we have to it. And the reason they named it that was after little darling Charlotte, who went from 300 seizures a week to 0, using a highly concentrated strain of whole plant cannabis that had virtually no THC but all CBD in there. But it's really rare to get, especially if you're in a place where you don't have a medical marijuana card. You can't get it. So here we are, extracting out the most powerful component, zeroing out the risk of the other issues, and in other words, fixing the legalities, fixing the euphoric effect, the high, and only delivering a highly bioavailable concentrate of what we're looking for. That's the beauty of this technology.
Okay.
Do we have?
So I think we've covered a lot of the questions here. I mean, a lot of those are, again, like chronic fatigue. Can that help? And we have
Hashimoto's. Lyme. There's a lot of questions around specific conditions.
Lyme disease. So again, it comes back to boosting your own body's natural ability to do what it does best, and that is to heal. So that's really what it works on. It's your whole body function and how it works. So if it works at its optimal level, then we're going to see things happen that will make you happy.
Yeah, it turns on all the systems.
Yeah.
As far as specific conditions, people can read a lot about studies. Most of them are animal studies and rats, and that's the thing, is we need more human clinical trials. But at the same time, let's face it, do we really need to wait for the FDA to tell us, to give us the go-ahead to use something that nature has given us, thousands of years, to this point, and with good track record? And so the answer is no. I certainly don't want to wait. I want to always do what's best for my patients. Someone with Lyme disease or MS or Parkinson's, muscular dystrophy. Look, all I can suggest is it's good for the body. It's anti-inflammatory. It's going to reduce myospasm. Therefore, it's beneficial. It's going to help. And so I want it available, and I love that it's available as a nutritional supplement that people can get, an unlimited amount, unlimited quantity, as much as they want for them and their families.
Especially, I mean, it used to be used in pharmacopoeia, just cannabis itself, before it became all illegal, right?
Yes.
If you look at the history of cannabis and its use medicinally over the years, it's astounding. Like Egyptians and back, it's literally astounding. And it's just in the last, I would say, 100 years or so that it's become demonized and politicized, and we've put structures on it, like our jail system and our pharmaceutical system, and all these things stand to lose if this thing becomes legal. So that's one of the big reasons that it's illegal, and it's hard for it to become unscheduled and used for its medicinal qualities. A lot of people stand to lose. So,
but it's coming. I think it's coming. The tide is shifting. That's for sure.
It is, and it's exciting to see that happen, because there's so many people suffering that can use. Hey, listen, it's a plant, right?
Yeah, you can ban us from swimming in the rivers. It's nature's made, right?
Yeah.
Maybe let's move on to some of the questions that we have in the chat. I see Carol was saying, I hear the word homeostasis related to CBD. Dr. Santo, could you please explain it, homeostasis?
Well, Oksana, you mentioned it a little bit ago, it's going to bring the body into a state of balance. So when people suffer from, for instance, low energy, chronic fatigue syndrome, severe depression, adrenal fatigue, this is going to help regulate the system and bring the energy up, right? In the context, again, of a holistic lifestyle. In the cases where the nervous system, for instance, is upregulated, where we're seeing insomnia, irretractable insomnia, anxiety disorder, panic disorder, hyperactive disorders of adult and child, epilepsy, neurological disorders like those, we're going to bring the system back down. Hypercortisolemia, for instance, hyperactive adrenal syndrome, hyperthyroid. We're going to bring the system back down. And that's the idea. This is known as homeostasis. Essentially, the body is always craving to be in a state of balance. And so we don't do well when we're out of balance, because our adrenal glands are constantly working to bring the system right. But when the adrenal glands are constantly called upon, eventually they give in. And they are, folks, our lifeline. We can't live without them. You can live without a thyroid. You cannot live without your adrenal glands. We got to take care of them. And the way to do that is to reduce inflammation in the body, so that the system then is calm. When the system is calm, the adrenals get to relax a bit and regenerate. But rarely do we actually get the body in a place of restoration. It's constantly in fight or flight. Mm-hmm. When you're in fight or flight, you can't have healing. It only exists in a place of balance. Yeah. And that's the difference between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems that ultimately determine our level of health or disease.
Mm-hmm. And homeostasis is that
balance.
That balance.
Like not one is better than the other, right? We don't want to be here. We don't want to. Can you see me? We don't want to be here. We don't want to be here. The idea is we want to be, right in the middle, and with allowing for each side, right? Because we need the sympathetic. We need the fight or flight. If I stand up right now, I hope my fight or flight kicks in so that my heart rate speeds up, so I don't pass out. Because I actually get to keep the blood in the brain. At the same time, I'm trying to wind down at night. I don't want my heart rate at 90. I don't want my eyes flickering because I can't turn the TV off, until the last moment. Maybe go to sleep with the TV on. So that's leaving the fight or flight system running, So our ability to adjust, into each segment of the total nervous system is ultimately our ability, is gotten through homeostasis.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I see Joanna is saying there are people who grow from medical marijuana dispensaries. My understanding is that they can legally grow it. Yes, so that you can get CBD from either industrial hemp, which is grown outside of the country, or you can get it from marijuana plants where it is legal. So if it is legal in your state, yes, you can definitely go to a dispensary and get CBD from there. But if it's not, the only option for you to get CBD in your body is through either the CBD oil or Soul CBD, right? I hope that answers the question. Did you want to add anything to that, Dr. Santo?
Oh, that's the legality stuff, and you're correct. So,
someone's asking if we have an affiliate program. We are working on that, and we'll put as soon as the site goes live, you'll see a link for
probably
our
next
affiliate program.
week. I would say.
Let's talk about our extraction process and how our CBD is created. Can you speak to that, Dr. Santo?
The extraction process, essentially, well, we do have a bioavailability page. I think we can maybe put up if somebody wants to see that for the product. Essentially, it shows the actual components and all. It's a CO2 extraction process, and the idea is minimal invasiveness, maximizing the content and quality of the original CBD product, and then hybridizing it along with turmeric for its. Essentially, that's the sort of the neat thing that's patented and we have limited access to. For specifics, it's a bit of a secret, but that combining those two powerful agents together is creating a really highly absorbable form. That's the most important thing. Yes, that turmeric itself is incredibly healing, and in this particular nanoparticle size, molecule. Is why we're potentiating the effect of these two together. So, that's it.
The analogy that I like to use is if you took a salt block, a big one, it would be hard for you to take it in and process it or eat it, right? But if you take that salt block and you break it up into smaller pieces, it's easier for you to ingest and you could take it in. And that's the same how it works with your cells. If the particulate size is too big, it's harder for your cells to bring it in. But if it's smaller, then they could actually use the CBD better. So that's how the technology works.
I see here also, I understand that CBD is rather for pain relief, so it would not be, so it would not help with hypothyroidism, correct?
Yeah, we don't have good data on yet on the thyroid, but again, given the ubiquity, if you will, of the CB2 receptors on all the glands of the body, we would expect a nice homeostatic effect on the thyroid, whether it's acting under or over. And again, reducing inflammation, increasing blood flow to each of those glands, as well as attaching to the actual receptor site. But I'm saying is improving nerve flow, improving blood flow to the glands is going to help them bring in good nutrition, take out toxicity away from these sites. It's going to help the gland function better. And that's just a generality, not just the thyroid.
Okay. Then there's something about the receptor sites being dormant. How long have they been dormant? Are they dormant?
I didn't really understand that question. I apologize. If they could elaborate, maybe, and explain what they mean more, so I don't miss.
Yeah, maybe the assumption there is that our CBD receptors are dormant until
They're just not
until we give the body the cannabidiol that activates it. But I don't think they are dormant. They're there to receive.
They're not dormant. We make endocannabinoids. The most commonly studied one, for instance, is anandamide. Ananda is a Sanskrit word for bliss, happiness. And so we actually make cannabinoids. An endocannabinoid is something that we make. But what we're doing with the CBD is we're actually introducing an exocannabinoid, something from outside the body, bringing it in, so that we're actually getting hyperstimulation of these CB2 receptors. Pretty cool. In other words, we're maximizing, optimizing, the body's function to work the best way that it can. Sorry.
Debbie, I see you're trying to order one bottle, but the site will not let you order just one. Try deleting it. There should be an X, or you can also lower the number of products in the cart. So try to even lower it all the way to 0 and refresh. Sometimes you're still gonna keep one. There's been cache issues that I've seen someone else had to deal with. Or if you want, just go in a different browser and click the link again, and that should be fine.
Carol's asking, okay, so she's asking what fed receptor sites in the past, and
has the human
always had the receptor sites? I believe the answer is yes, right, Dr. Sam?
The answer is yes, because we can look at lower animal forms and they have them too. So, like I said, we're seeing them, and they're studying mice, rats. So, obviously, if they have them, then we've had them a very long time, because they work hand in hand with our central and peripheral nervous systems. We wouldn't function without them. It's just that we're just starting to understand them now and isolate them, where before we didn't know where to look for them.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I see Joanna's asking, do you have a CBD product without turmeric? No, turmeric is actually what makes this CBD water soluble and more bioavailable. So this is the proprietary technology that our scientists are working on, and it's this blend, is the synergistic goodness that makes CBD much more potent and more bioavailable. So the answer to that is no, we don't.
But we will likely carry in the future products
just
without,
the oil by
without
itself,
turmeric.
possible.
I'm assuming you're saying that because you might have an allergy with turmeric. And for now, all we have is the product that contains turmeric.
Again, we're working on adding ton more products, possibly even pet product, digestion, pain, topical. There's a ton of things in the works. So we will keep you all updated.
Ron asked about macular degeneration. We did cover that earlier.
This is cannot help.
Can it help?
Data is still pending on that one. Give it time, but we have more data on glaucoma at this point, and we know it helps a lot. So again, in the holistic world, we're looking at high potency antioxidants and anti-inflammatories for treating macular degeneration. So therefore, this nutrient fitting in that class should be beneficial.
Yeah,
we don't want to make any guarantees or anything, but it's worth a try.
We've covered, I think, most of the questions. Does anyone have any other questions? Carol, pet.
Yes, she's voting for the pet product. All
yes.
Right.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions that we may not have covered?
Please post them in a chat so we can go through that. We got about another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, but we'll stick around. I mean,
yep.
If
I can just comment on the pet thing. I'm not allowed to give pet advice because I'm not a veterinarian, but I'll just say this generally. What's good for us is often good for our pets. That's all I'm going to say. Your choice.
Also, I got an email yesterday. People were asking, can you overdose on that?
So, again, this is not psychoactive.
Yeah.
So it's not like you take too much of this by accident and, you have a car accident or something where you fall down the steps. It wouldn't do that. The worst can happen, I suppose. I can't imagine what it would take, what it would take to make someone have a negative effect, because we've measured these for toxicity, and honestly, the quantity that's in these pills is so small, and there's a reason for that, is to maximize the effect. Once we saturate the receptor sites, the body's going to get rid of the rest. So you reach enough serum concentration, the rest of it's just going to go out the body, and so I wouldn't think so. And it's like the liver doesn't have to process this in a toxic way either, so it's not going to put any stress on the liver or the kidneys. So again, we're not going to say anything is safe taken out of context, right? I mean, certainly over-the-counter drugs like aspirin can kill people. Tylenol has been known to do that.
Water, too much water. Too much water can kill someone.
That's right. You go into kidney failure, electrolyte failure.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been one instance of someone overdosing from cannabis, let alone
CBD. Yeah, without any side effect.
Even with cannabis, really the only toxic effects we're seeing with cannabis, it's hyperemesis syndrome, where some people are prone when using whole plant cannabis, especially with the THC, they're prone to extreme vomiting. So we have some cases in the urgent care of irretractable vomiting, and once people stop the cannabis, they're able to, the vomiting goes away, often within hours, if not just a couple of days. So if you hear of anybody having hyperemesis syndrome, maybe suggest that they stop smoking, but not with the CBD. This is not showing to be the case at all.
Oh, all right. We got another question from Steven. Do you recommend your product as a preventative, therapeutical, or both?
Oh, is that for me? Okay. Honestly, folks, that's how I'm gonna. That's how I use it. I use it as I don't have things wrong with me. And frankly, I don't wait for things to go wrong before I start taking things therapeutically and preventatively. I mean, it's the same way I take my other antioxidants and my anti-inflammatories and my nitric oxide potentiators and all the fun stuff that we all do, and because we know it's good for us, and we know that CBD is good for us. And I want my CB2 receptors always, turned on and doing the best that they can do to keep me healthy. So if I know that something's going to attach to so many different receptor sites in my body, absolutely, I want to take it therapeutically, and that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And preventatively. I mean, hopefully you don't have to take it therapeutically. It's like asking, should I eat a salad therapeutically or preventatively? Well, if you have an ailment, then we would recommend you eat a lot of greens. But hopefully you're already eating greens, so you don't have to get to the point where you have to use it therapeutically.
Yeah, and do 180 shifts.
Yeah, we always want to act responsibly and treat our body like a temple and make sure that we don't get a disease. So hopefully that answers the question. Joanna's asking, is there any benefit for people with MCS or electrical sensitivity?
I don't know what MCS is.
I don't either.
Or electrical sensitivity. So
can't comment on that one. But maybe they can tell us more.
Carol's asking if there's a difference between tincture or capsule. So
tincture is going to be absorbed faster. And if somebody doesn't, for instance, doesn't want to take a capsule for whatever reason, they think you can actually just break the capsule open and mix it in some water, let it sit under your tongue. The tincture is going to get in fast, especially if you hold it under your tongue. We have a lot of CB2 receptors right underneath our tongue. So you want to hold the capsule under your tongue, break it open and do that. You can mix it with a little bit of coconut oil if you want to. It's going to actually increase the absorption across the oral mucosa as well as into the body. You don't want to competing though with too many other nutrients, so I wouldn't suggest taking it on a full stomach. It's going to get lost in the mix. But if you take it on closer to an empty stomach, or lighter food in the stomach, take it with a little bit of something that has fat contents, peanut butter, coconut oil. It's going to help the absorption better. And if you don't want to take a capsule, let it sit in your mouth. Like I said, break it open, a little oil base. Let it sit. It's not going to taste bad, and it'll get absorbed that way.
And so Joanna just clarified it's multiple chemical sensitivity.
I see. I don't know. I don't have data on that again, Joanna. But again, CBD is a potent immunomodulator, and because of that, it is going to take a compromised immune system, such as someone with multiple chemical sensitivities, probably suffering from underlying autoimmune dysfunction, endocrine dysfunction, adrenal dysfunction, and this adaptogenic substance, this molecule, should help over time, given that someone is doing it in the context of a holistic approach to their health. Out of context, though, it's going to be limited. So again, good diet, good exercise, good supplementation, proper medication if you're doing something for your condition, but it should be very beneficial for any protocol as an adjunct.
When should someone take CBD? Is there a better time throughout the day to take it?
Or at night?
First in the morning, empty stomach. Last at night, bedtime. Hopefully you go to bed not too full stomach. Those are two excellent times to take it. At the end of the day, it's good right before sleep is good because it's going to give your body a chance. Hopefully you're in a recovery phase while you're sleeping, and that CBD should be facilitating that recovery. In the morning, when your body is now kicking out lots of toxins from all night sleep, then again, it's a good way to start your day and kick it off right.
Yeah, I mean, every time I take it at night, the dreams are a lot more vivid. It's like, and I sleep like a baby.
And you feel more. I feel more refreshed.
Yeah, I feel more refreshed as well. Is your CBD made with organic hemp? Yes, it is, Carol. And also, I saw a question.
How is it different from other cannabidiol on the market? So most of the cannabidiol on the market right now may not even have CBD in it, as the government has issued warnings to some companies that are delivering. We actually have we're going to have a certificate posted about how much CBD is in ours, and it will show the efficacy of it. Other CBD is in oil form. So when we created ours, it's a water soluble, and the particulate size is smaller, so it's actually more absorbable. And it allows.
That's why you need less.
It allows
for a better
us to have less, which lowers the cost. If you look at other oils on the market, they're upwards of several $100s, and they're
4 or 5 if it's an oil form,
Yeah.
for about 10 doses. So it's a very affordable product, and I know a lot of people were asking about the price. We want to remind you though, because in a few days we're launching this to the public, and this pricing will not be offered ever. As some of you know, this is our pre-launch phase. We literally have just product right now in our fulfillment center. They just get in the labels. They put in all the product together to be going out on Friday, I believe. This is as soon as it's going out to the public, the price will be around 127, possibly
and again,
higher.
the reason for that cost, we want to give it to everyone at the lowest possible price, but because of the importation, what it takes to create
cost,
that,
yeah.
to purify it and to turn into what we're delivering, it is an expensive process. Hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to sell it for a lot more, because we will be able to grow it in the United States and process it here, and it'll be abundant like it should be. But for now, it will be at a much higher price than we have it offered to you as our family members. So if you're ready to get it, and I highly recommend and suggest that you do, you could go to solcbd, solcbd.com/LP, and you can take advantage of this amazing offer. Someone asked us what soul means, and soul is sun, SOL.
And it sounds like soul.
Yeah.
It's good for your soul. Also, there was, I believe, one more question. Based on your body weight, hold on, let me read the whole thing from Steven. We are blessed, but it's based, hold on. Oh, there's
We're
3.
blessed here in California to have access to 40% CBD, 1% THC oil. A rice-sized drop rubbed into the inside of the cheek almost immediately destroys seizures. Wow.
But it's based on body weight. Why are you only in capsule form, and how will it vary from a 5-year-old kids versus 6-foot adults?
Very.
Of course, you've got to go by body size. Got to go by body size, and so you'll up the dose depending on on your body size, body mass. And so, but the idea again, when we're using nanoparticle technology, we're going from minimal dosage to maximum effect. So all I can suggest is people can titrate up their dosing toward their ideal effect that they're looking for.
Mm.
But, Maria asking, oh, sorry, didn't interrupt her. Okay. Maria's asking, if we sign up for auto ship and then later want to add another bottle, will it be at the same price or the higher price? So anyone that is part of, again, our Be Well Buzz family, you are our family, you are our community. And that is why we offered this deal for everyone. And this will be the price for the lifetime.
Yeah.
Again,
if you want to add, what she's wondering, if you want to add one, we'll honor that, and we'll add another bottle at the same price.
Yeah. But if you cancel, then we cannot guarantee, if you decide then to order it again, if we'll be able to offer the $87, let's say, a few months down the road.
We'll do our best to take care of you.
Yep. All right. Anyone else? Please post other questions if you still have any left. And yes, we will be offering a replay. We'll be sending it an email with all the details for you. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a replay shortly after we end this session.
We'll email tomorrow all the details.
Yeah. So as of midnight tomorrow, the deal does go away. So please take advantage.
Okay, I just want to make sure we haven't missed anything.
Yeah, I think so. We'll give you one last chance to ask any more questions. Hopefully this was informative and you got some value from this.
Dr. Sanders, is there any closing thoughts, ideas, suggestions?
Someone just popped in with dosages.
For cancer patients.
Yeah, I think that's still being experimented, right, Dr. Santo?
Yes, what I can suggest is start out with a low dose and you can always titrate up. Again, we don't have to worry about toxicity, and they're already toxic probably from chemo. This can only help. Just be patient, and you can just slowly increase the dose as we see fit.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have an address. Steven's asking whether we have documents like a privacy policy and all that. Once the site launches, we'll have our address, and we do have a privacy policy.
Email. No, the question is around direct email where Dr. Carlos Santo can be reached.
On my blog. Read my blog. It's at the bottom. Right.
And
do you want to post your blog on the chat?
Yeah, post your blog address on the chat.
Oh, if you read my blog, you want me to just go ahead and post it now?
Uh-huh.
How do I do that?
Okay. Just in a chat box on the right.
Sorry.
No worries. We'll post it. I saw also someone. One second.
It's safe to do with Vanessa. Safe to do with probiotics and enzymes. No problem there at all.
Okay, here's Dr. Carlos's website.
It's my website. That'll work.
And all the questions that I've been getting so far from when people responding to the emails, I personally get them. I personally reply to everyone. I personally call every one of you who had a question. So you are not talking with anyone else. It's me or Larry on the phone and on the email. So there's no hoops to jump through. This is us directly. So
yeah. Support at soulcbd.com will get to us.
Yep. Okay, let's see. All right. Anything else, guys? You're welcome, Carol, by the way.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, yes.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. So nothing has come in. Yeah, so I think we're good. I appreciate everyone joining us. And again, soulcbd.com/LP if you're ready to buy. So I think we're ready to close it. Any parting words, Dr. Santo?
No, I look forward to the next one.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're gonna continue to be here to support you all. It doesn't stop with just the CBD. We want to make sure that you're getting benefit from it, and we want to improve your life as much as we can. So whatever information we could give you to really hit that goal for you, we're gonna provide it. So we're here for you. If you have any questions, please shoot them at us, and if we can't personally answer them, we'll go to Dr. Santo or anyone else in our network. So we're here to help you, and we care. So I want to thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Dr. Santo.
Yes, thank you.
A pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And
yes.
If you have any kind of questions, again, email us at support@soulcbd.com, and do not miss out on this offer. We want to make sure to get CBD in as many hands as possible so we can all be a better, healthier planet.
Yep. So spread the love, tell your family and friends about it, and soulcbd.com/LP to take advantage of this offer. Much love, y'all. Take it easy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.